My name is Graham Lockhart, and I'm the Commercial Director at Eastron Europe Limited. And Eastron Europe design, manufacture, and distribute a range of electricity metering solutions in the UK and European market. So the reason I'm here today is to talk about the challenges that we've faced with energy, the current energy monitoring solutions, and how we overcome that with our partners, Grand Centrix, and also Seethings. So today, how do we create a greener society? So with the adoption of electric vehicles, energy storage, and also renewable energy, that is how the journey has started. And just to give you some statistics, the electric vehicle market globally is worth 385 billion USD, and the renewable energy market, there's global investments of 300 billion, and with energy storage, which is a relatively new technology, is currently 20 billion. Also, along with the government incentives, that's driving the greener society. So what have we experienced with the challenges to date? I think the first one is us as people and adopting and making the change. And how do we do that? Well, we need to do that by having the data and visibility and reliable source of data. Also, today's concerns over security and having an external network. Rapid technology, so with regards to having a future-proof technology where it's a one-fit-all solution. On-site commissioning, this has also been the feedback from our clients where it's an additional cost for a third party to have to go to site and commission or onboard an energy monitoring solution. And lastly, the pricing and affordability and ongoing costs. So there's a couple of case studies, two, to how we overcome this. So the first customer we refer to as customer A, and they had a range of solar sites in mainland Europe, and they wanted one solution to be able to monitor the power generation. And they wanted the requirements was to have a easy installation with a pre-commissioned solution and plug and play. So with that in mind, we put together a pre-wired enclosure using our SDM630 MCT electricity meter alongside the Grand Centrix MOC GW1 gateway, which then transmits the data, all pre-configured and pre-commissioned. Later on in the presentation, our colleagues will give you more details on how that works. The benefits was a simple solution, cost-effective, and removed the need for a pre-commissioning. The conclusions was it was very positive. Without any issues, we was able to roll out in various different countries. And the partnership is now that we're their preferred supplier for any remote monitoring of their additional sites. We then have customer B, and customer B has 70,000 assets in the UK, and during the feed-in tariff boom, they was able to install 70,000 PV arrays on residential market. There's two ways that you can actually claim your feed-in tariff. There's one which is a deemed tariff, where you measure your generation, and then it is deemed as 50% that goes back to the grid. And the second way is to actually have a meter at the incoming supply that reads the actual export. What they wanted is a solution because they believed that it was higher than the 50% deemed, So they were evaluating the need to have a meter at the incoming supply end. So we put together, again, a pre-wired solution using the same gateway and the same pre-commissioning solution, and was able to prove that actually across 100 sites as a pilot is actually more than the 50%. So as you can imagine, over 70,000 sites, that's quite a return on the revenue. So this is currently at pilot stage, and the conclusion is that it's, as I said, it's over the 50% as they suspected. So on how it works, I'm going to pass you over to Paul, and he's going to now take over. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Graham. Hello, everybody. My name is Paul Haig, and I work for a company called Grandcentrix. And Grandcentrix is an IoT engineering company which belongs to Vodafone. And Vodafone is one of the world's leading IoT companies. A lot of people don't know that. So we play our role as part of that global constellation. So just a few words. I've only got 2 slides, so don't worry. Just a few words about what kind of components are necessary to create the solution which Graham was just talking about. Well, essentially, as you see top left, there's a meter from Eastron, which is an MID certified meter, okay? And that speaks a language called Modbus. And if you didn't know it, Modbus is a protocol developed in the 1970s. It was actually 1979. It was a daughter company of what's become Schneider Electric who developed that. But it's actually an industry standard protocol. And we at Grandcentrix have developed a gateway. This is what it looks like. It's much smaller than you maybe think, which takes this protocol, and then we send the data over the cellular network. And there's 2 types of network which get used there, and both are IoT-specific networks. So it's something called LTE category M, and M stands for machine, okay? And this is part of the normal mobile network, but it's a specific part of the network which is just for IoT applications. And that's the case for both LTE-M and Narrowband-IoT. LTE-M has a better, higher rate of throughput, so it's suitable for mid-data applications. NB-IoT is for low data applications, and metering is a low data application. So we use those parts of the public network to send the data through to AWS, which is why we're here today on the stand, and not just AWS, but to an application running on it which comes from the company See Things, and we'll be hearing about that in a second. Maybe just to zoom in a little bit more about the device. This device here, and I'll hold it up again, it has a SIM card in it, a global data services platform SIM card from Vodafone in it. It also has a QR code on the side of it. So when somebody has to install this next to an electrical meter, they simply scan the QR code and they can connect through to the AWS system quickly and easily. As Vodafone Grandcentrix, we don't just deliver the connectivity, but we also deliver a server which is called a lightweight M2M server. And this lightweight M2M server produces data in a cloud-ready format, so it can easily be swallowed by AWS. So that's a so-called MQTT format. And there we are. It sounds easy. It actually involves a lot of work to make it, put these things in place, but our aim is that IoT is modular and scalable, and it should be available for everybody, because we all know how important energy reporting is becoming. So with that, I'm going to hand on to my colleague from See Things, who will take us to the next level. Go on.
Thank you, Paul. So I'm Dominic Chapman, and I'm from See Things. We specialise in IoT remote monitoring, and we have partnered, and we're the technology provider for EasyLink, which is Eastron's energy monitoring platform. So just kind of at a glance, what does it do? So effectively it allows you to see, view, run an analysis on your meters, devices and assets all in the cloud. And to give you an idea of how it works and so on, and the scalability, so kind of a top end, it allows you to process data from millions of meters. So it is completely scalable. So we have utility providers using the platform, right the way up to kind of people with a single meter. The idea behind it is that you don't need to worry about data management at all, and you can use it to ensure that the data you are receiving is good enough, so it can be used for billing. Once it's in the platform, you can build or choose from reports. So this could be for, like I said, billing, could be for ESG or compliance reporting, and then also you can then run really quite sophisticated AI analytics on that data to help you understand and optimize your assets and how they operate. The final part, really what it does, is there's some automation in there. So the idea is that you can use your IoT devices and you can make event-based control decisions. So for instance, that could be you remotely turn off a property, or it could be that you turn off a piece of machinery where you're kind of hitting demand. And the big thing is as well, in this day and age, data privacy and security is built in at its heart. So to give you a very quick overview of what this actually looks like, so we've talked about the obviously the Eastron Modbus meter and the Grand-Centrix NB-IoT device, but effectively we read the meters and we can process them from completely agnostic to where it is. So you can look at a whole host of different devices from different manufacturers and technology providers. So for instance, you could bring in data from, say, EV chargers via Wi-Fi, from solar inverters using MQTT, and then of course the Grand-Centrix, we actually process that data via their API. Once the data hits EasyLink, we then ingest that, decode it and decrypt it, and then we normalize it. So that means that all of your data, no matter where it comes from, is in the exact same fashion. It then moves to the business logic, which again uses some AWS services, where we add extra data to that. So that could be costs, it could be carbon, it could be hours used. But the idea is by adding this extra data, it allows you to understand exactly how your assets are working and how they're performing. Once that's done, we then make it available to the users in two main ways. So we have our kind of visualization and user platform, which consists of a mobile app, a web portal, and also kind of what we call digest reports. But the idea is you can go on there, you can view data, you can dashboard it, and at a glance you can see exactly what's going on. Having said that, we are API first, so what we can do is we can stream that data to your existing platform, so maybe that's a billing system or an ERP system via webhooks or web sockets, or alternatively you can come up or interact with your devices via our API. So why did we choose to use AWS? So obviously AWS are a trusted partner and they are leading in the industry. So the whole product is really based on a service architecture, so there is no physical hardware. On top of that, we developed the whole solution, so EasyLink and CFIN's Cloud, what it's built on microservices. So the idea is this can scale as needed with demand, which means the user always has really good performance. We keep costs down because we don't have that large instances running when we don't need to. And of course, there's redundancies as we spread all of our services across different AWS regions. So even if there is an outage, fallback kicks in and we have uptime. And just to give you an idea, we've got over 99.95% uptime on the platform. As I said as well, we follow all of AWS's well-architectured framework and security advice. So again, it means that you don't need to worry about it and there's always optimal performance. So just kind of to summarize why you do this is, you can have devices from, or any different devices. The data is processed in real time so you can see exactly what's happening and use it for monitoring. And then you can also bring data from all different options. So we talked about NB-IoT and LTE, but you can use other communication platforms. All your data, though, is in one place, which means that the more data you've got, the more insights you can gain, which means that it provides more value to you as a business. And finally, and that is really the big thing, that by doing this, you gain data insights, which allow you to optimize exactly what's going on. So just to see the whole solution, just over in the corner, in the sustainability area, we have one of the Eastron meters, the NB-IoT gateway, and also EasyLink on display. So if you'd like to see it in action, feel free to go out there and take a look. So thanks for listening to the three of us.